First thing is, don't be afraid of it. People are afraid of the word suicide. People are afraid of mental illness word. Oh my God, you know, panic. Don't be afraid of it. It's an illness. It's an illness. And if you suspect anybody, number one, is suicidal, sit them down and talk and ask them straight out. There's a myth going around that if you mention suicide to somebody who's depressed or wherever, that they'll go and run down the river and do it straight away. That's not the truth at all. If they are thinking of suicide and you initiate the conversation and mention suicide, they'll be delighted you opened up the door for them to talk about suicide. You've actually, by you asking the question, you've given them permission to talk about suicide. And it works like that all the time. It works brilliantly like that, and then they can tell the truth and they can tell you how they feel. But I think the most important thing to do is, if you know somebody who's struggling, give them every opportunity for you to sit down, give them any space, time, tell them you're available to sit down and listen to them. Just listen. Listening is hard. Listening is not easy. Believe me, everybody says, listen, no. Listening is very difficult for many reasons. One of the big reasons is we want to help, so we want to jump in straight away and help. You know, we want to interrupt. Don't interrupt. Just listen. As I said earlier, the verbalization, let them get it. They'll be that tiny bit better for that. Let them, give them it. Don't push them, don't bug them, don't deny them every minute of the day, how you feeling, try and be as normal as possible. But say you're there. And if they don't want to talk to you, say, okay, who would you like to talk to? You know, you might want to talk to your parents, but you might talk to your brother, or your cousin, or your uncle. Do you know what I mean? Somebody you feel safe and comfortable with. We all have somebody who we feel safe and comfortable talking to. And it's just a matter of getting that started. And once that's started then, go back to what I said earlier, the rational person, the listener person, right, can be the rational thinker for the two. And say, listen, something like, wow, well, I know a friend like that, I know this, I know you need help now. Let's see how we can organise that for you. Don't say you should ring the doctor. Don't say you should ring SOSAD. We'll do it. I'll do it with you. You know what I mean? Will I bring it down to SOSAD? Will I bring it to the doctor? What will we do together? Just somebody holding your hand again, just to get you through this temporary problem. Number one, you're not unique. Depression, as I said, is very common. So say 1 in 10 of us in Ireland. I've seen 1 in England now. I know they're worse than us, but there's 1 in 9 in England, you know, at the moment. So it's very, very common. So you're not unique, right? And I'll say, if you broke your arm, where would you go? Okay, if there's something wrong in your head, if it's not working right, why not go to the doctor or the SOSAD? It's easier to cope. It's easier for your life to get professional help and support.
How do you think we go about chipping away at this stigma of suicide and depression?
I think the big thing at the moment is, and I do quite a lot of them, is our students, our younger people. They're the ones leading this battle, not the media. They're the ones who are asking for advice, to somebody come and talk. They want to know the truth about suicide. They don't want to be pussyfooting around and say, oh, suicide is this. You have to talk and tell them the truth. And they appreciate it. And then they go home and tell their friends and their parents and everything else. So you're spreading the word, this thing, you're spreading that word around. They are, as far as I'm concerned, they're leading the way. Now, the media and all these campaigns, brilliant. But I have an issue. I have a big issue with them. The awareness campaigns are convincing you to talk, aren't they? They're all talking about talking to somebody, sharing, reaching it and getting help. Now that's great here in Drogheda or Dundalk or Navan or places where we are and we'll see you straight away. But what about the places where you're not, where we're not based, where somebody does reach out, right? And then told, oh, I'll give you an appointment in 6 months, you know, or we can't see you now. Or, like my son was told, there's nothing psychologically wrong with you, so go home and deal with it. You know, that's becoming an issue now recently because of phone calls we're getting from around the country. it pains me, it hurts me, it drives me crazy to think these people down in Cork or Kerry and all that just don't have somewhere like SOSAD. You know, they're giving an appointment for weeks or months away when you've actually made the effort. You know, you said, okay, we'll just take the worst case scenario. You said, right, okay, suicide is in my mind 100% of the day, all day, maybe I seen that thing in the paper, I seen that thing in the television, I'll ring them now. And then you make the effort to ring them. And then they say to you, we'll send you out an appointment. That's no good, is it? That just deflates. That just puts you back to, I've only got one option left, nobody cares. Because that's the way we feel when we're like that. Yeah, it's difficult. It's very difficult, especially after suicide. Now, any death or any sudden death is difficult, right? But there's a certain few aspects to suicide, right, that make it even more difficult for everybody. And some of them are questions. Hundreds and thousands of questions. What if I'd done this? Why didn't I see this happening? Why wasn't I called? Blah, blah, you know, all these questions. Everybody's loads of questions. When Simon died, I had thousands of questions. Thousands of questions. Now, it took a long time for me to do this, but I've accepted that I have some of the answers to the questions, and the rest of them, I have to wait till I die, which I hope is a long time away, and I go up to heaven, and I see Simon, and I give him a big hug, have a chat, and then say, oh, by the way, I have a couple of questions. So there's the questions, and there's also this feeling of rejection. Why didn't he come to me? Why didn't she tell me? Why didn't this? Why didn't that? And then there's guilt, because I didn't see it coming. I didn't see it happening. I didn't see this. So they all add to the other emotions. And I always believe that we, again, like the little person with the hand, we need somebody. It's easier if we guide someone, if we have somebody to guide us through it. It's easier to cope with if we got some understanding. Like, if you read any articles on the grief, emotions, mourning, it kind of lists them as if these emotions, these things will happen and attack you one at a time. The problem is they don't. So when you're at your most vulnerable, you're at your most weakest, and they will come and attack you then. You know, when you be more guilty, when you feel more rejected, when you feel saddest, when you might feel depressed, when you might feel angry, when you might be blaming everybody, God and everybody else, but it all happens, and you can actually feel like you're going crazy. But it's always best to have somebody to guide you through it. Even if it's one talk, one chat, what is happening? What is going to happen? What is going to happen to you now? You lost your son, what's going to happen? These are the emotions. And safety net, there's a phone number. When you have any questions or worries, just pick that up and ring it. And then, once the shock wears off, if you want professional counselling, bereavement support, just call us and we get it done. And that should be available to everybody.